Hello, everybody. Today I'm here showcasing the Wreck-It Ralph team in Disney Sorcerer's Arena. And this whole video is going to be me talking over video that I already recorded. I've got 4 parts of the Wreck-It Ralph event to talk about, which I think pretty accurately showcases the team members other than Ralph pretty well. And then I've got a couple battles at the end that has Ralph in it, so we'll get a look at him too. But let's just start out talking about each of the team members that make up the team before we get Ralph, because it's pretty important to understand them just to get through the event in general. And they actually require you to get your characters up to tier level 7 on this one instead of just tier level 6, which is the usual case. So a little bit more stronger, and the final fight is a little tougher. So who should we start with? I suppose Calhoun was the first one actually in the game, so it might be interesting to talk about her. And I left her in the wedding costume as well through the whole video. I didn't bother switching her out to her normal outfit. So she's got a pretty basic attack that I think it hits a few times, and then also a bigger one with her Gatling gun. And then she has the turret that comes out. And the turret is one of my favorite moves probably in the entire game. It's just so helpful. You place it down, it not only hurts each of the enemies as it is placed, but it also gains taunt, similar to someone like Raja. And then it also has its own attack if you're able to survive all the way through. But in this event, I would imagine it's probably going to die before you even get to use it. But it is helpful just in the case that it taunts, keeping the attacks away from your teammates. And then also, it is doing damage on that initial placement, which is just amazing. Next up, we can talk about Vanellope. So you can see above her right now, she's got that star and the 70 on it. And that plays into, I don't know if it plays into all of her skills, but it certainly plays into the final one. I didn't get a good chance to look into that, I suppose, but it's kind of a thing that increases the strength of, like I said, at least her final move. So her first one's just a pretty basic attack. I think it hits twice for a pretty considerable amount of damage at the level that I have it at, which is good. And then she has one that gives like a debuff to enemies, but I never really got a good enough use of it to really understand what it did. I guess I should have looked at what it said. And then the final one is the candy cane one, where she hits a few enemies. It might just be the enemy that you targeted and then the adjacent enemies. I think that might be it with her candy cane. And again, depending on how many of those stars you have above her, the more damage she does with it. So in the final battle, I get to use quite a lot of it, or like I get a lot of damage out of using it towards the end of the fight. Next up, we can talk about Felix. So he's more of a support class for your team, which is pretty good to have. You know, it's nice to have one for the team, so they got that down pretty well, and it definitely makes sense to be Felix. I don't know if he actually is able to attack himself at all. His basic move is to have someone assist, and I believe it heals either you or both of them. I think it maybe just heals yourself, but I could definitely be wrong about that. But I know I just saw it, so I was trying to pay attention. And then his second one is a pretty considerable heal for the character you target. And I honestly can't remember if the last one you target the character that you're healing, or if it just chooses the character that needs it the most. I would imagine you're probably choosing the character, but I think actually I think it heals everybody. And when I did it, the only time I did it, I only had one character on my team, but I think it might heal everybody, which is pretty incredible, but it takes a long time to charge up too. And then next up we have, let's see, Shank we can talk about. Pretty basic punch for her basic move. And then she's got the car that does damage to a line of opponents, which is always nice. A lot of characters have a move like that. And then she also has one where she gives somebody haste on your team. I think 2 haste, which is pretty helpful as well. I was trying to give it to Calhoun whenever I could because I felt like she was doing a pretty large amount of damage. But maybe Vanellope would also be a good idea if you're, again, trying to get that damage. But if you need health, maybe, then you choose Felix. It might also do other things, but as far as I saw, it only did haste. Maybe it removes debuffs or something. And I think the only other one I haven't talked about is King Candy, who, let's see, he's got a big old ice cream cone for his biggest attack, which damages all the enemies and I believe also heals all of your teammates, so that's pretty cool. Another healing move other than Fix-It Felix's. And then he's got like a little gun that he shoots for his secondary one that deals damage a certain amount of times. I usually start out the way with that one because I like to save the other one to heal when we need it. And then his basic attack, I can't remember, but it must not be that impressive. It's probably just an attack and that's it. And I must say, I really like Calhoun and Vanellope, mostly just because they seem to be the highest damage dealing characters. And then I really do think the others fill it out pretty nicely too. Although I must say, I don't know if they really work that great. I don't know. I didn't find myself liking them as much. And especially Ralph I didn't find, because I guess we'll talk about that when we get to it, but I really felt as though that someone like Hercules was much more of an impressive legendary character than Ralph was. Although his final move is really strong, and like I said, we'll actually get to look at it, so I will hold off on that. But yeah, just as an overall team in the game, I don't find their stuff to be all that impressive. I really do prefer the Hercules, Mickey Mouse, Big Hero 6 teams all over this one, unfortunately. But I still think they're all really cool, and it's nice to have a Wreck-It Ralph team. I really, really sincerely hope they do another one of these, because now at this point, this was the last one I had to do here. So I've gone through all like the official like teams with these legendary events that they've had now. Like this is the last one I had to do. So it's certainly about the time I think to get another one. And I would say Zootopia would be an awesome one, but really anything could work. Even ones they already have set up, like potentially the brand new, what is it? Atlantis they could do, or they could add a new series like Treasure Planet or something. But yeah, I would, or like Inside Out would be cool too. All these would be awesome, and I always thought it was the coolest part of the game before, so it's kind of sad that we haven't gotten it recently. So for this final fight, I actually had to go out before recording this section and upgrade a bunch of the skills for the characters, because the first round I lost pretty bad. And I don't know how much it helped, like obviously it helped some, but I might have just gotten a luckier starting point, but I'm not sure. But we're all alive right now. I think I lose one or two of them here, and yeah, Shank is gone right now. I didn't talk about this, but I don't have a specific reason for the placements of all the characters, although I do find that to be alright. Maybe Vanellope should go up front, and King... Well, no, actually I think King Candy's pretty good in the front. Maybe not in the middle, but in the front I think he's pretty good. Maybe Shank and Vanellope should change, but I kind of like Vanellope in the back too, so maybe I got it pretty good. You can certainly let me know. We actually just completed the event there. I was kind of not paying attention, but it certainly was difficult. There's the trophy too, which looks pretty great. I feel like I had a harder time. Like the Big Hero 6 one took me so long to do, genuinely. I played it over and over again for like an hour. And I did get these characters a little bit more leveled up because it required me to, and maybe the event was a little easier. It was really easy to attack the main boss. There was no other characters taunting or anything, which can get really frustrating in these events, so it was really nice. But let me know what you think about the placements, because I'm pretty unsure still. I kind of like Calhoun being in the front, honestly. And I don't know if Wreck-It Ralph should be in the middle. Maybe he would go in that top corner then. And then Vanellope stays in the back. I don't know. I ended up going with a full hero team when I ended up showcasing them, so taking out King Candy, which I think is a pretty good choice, not only because in most of the campaigns you're not going to be able to bring in King Candy to the team anyways. And then he's got some supportive moves, which we already are getting from Felix. So, although I do like some of King Candy's moves quite a bit, I just ended up choosing him for the sake of simplicity. It made it easy that he was just a villain, and that would be that. But if he wasn't, then it might have been a tougher choice, and I might have took someone else out. I don't know. I also brought back in the 2 spells, which I didn't really talk about. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know exactly what the description is for the little gumdrop guys, but I believe it just has you assist, which is kind of weird. So just having someone do a basic attack, or maybe it's multiple characters. I'm honestly not sure at all. But it forces you to level them up to level 4, each of them, to complete that event as well. So make sure if you're planning on doing that, that you get those spells upgraded too, which that did take a while on its own. And then the hammer is Revive, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, getting all these characters up to the level they needed to get to took forever. It's a process in and of itself to get them to 7 stars, which will just take time, and that's really all you can do about it. It can't go much faster than that. And then getting up to tier 7 is also a pretty hard thing to do. Okay, so let's look at Ralph here. Just his basic attack here that does damage, a small amount of damage a few times, and then the second one does damage to all 3 of the characters down the line a few times as well. And then I don't know if you saw it or not, but at the level I have him at now, which is 7 stars and like you're tier 6, his final move does 13,000 damage to the target opponent, which is so much. You could kill almost anybody with something like that. So it's pretty impressive, but the problem is you have to keep him alive long enough to get that charged up, unless you have a character that can get those charged up for Ralph. But it's a difficult process for sure, and in this final battle, unfortunately, he died right before I was able to use it. I was really looking forward to at least seeing the animation for it, but he died before I could use it. I was really upset, but maybe in my free time I will try to get him going and see what it's like. But yeah, that seems like a pretty game-changing move. You can pretty much kill anybody you want. But the thing is, you get it so late in the game that for most levels it's probably not even going to matter, really. And then his other 2 moves I don't find all that impressive. They're things that could be replicated pretty easily. Like, even Shank has a move that's pretty similar to his secondary move. Although his basic attack does hurt the people surrounding the main person as well, which is nice. So you can see I'm bringing us into a little bit of a tougher one because, like I said, I got them to tier 7, so I was hoping they could do a bit better. And we almost lost, but we were able to make our way through. And maybe it was a combination of characters, or maybe I'm not good at what I'm doing, which is entirely possible. I don't think I got exactly how I should play this team. I don't always know how to use the supportive characters to the best of their ability. But I did my best, I guess. But yeah, like, they're each really cool. It is sad to say that I don't find any of Ralph's moves all too impressive. And some of the harder challenges, if you're having a hard time actually dealing damage to the main enemy, I'm sure getting that Ralph move to work would be awesome. But if you're having so much trouble beating him, I doubt you'd get Ralph to the amount that he needs to actually pull off that skill. I know there are characters that can increase that kind of stuff, so I suppose that's a way around it, but yeah, it could definitely help in a PvP situation too. So yeah, I really wanted to use it on Hades here, and he got damaged a lot, and then Hades just decided, well, I shouldn't have done my assist thing here, because he just got it, and I could have used it, and instead I end up using the assist. Hades gets attacked, so yeah, I should have just done Ralph's thing. That kind of sucks. But you do get to see, he said, I'm going to wreck it. I don't know if that just happens once he gets it charged up, if that always plays or what, but that's a nice addition, I would say. So that was my showcase of the Wreck-It Ralph team. Let me know what you guys think about it, because I don't always know what I'm talking about, and I'd love to hear a smarter opinion than my own. And let me know if you want me to do more teams and what teams they should add to the Sorcerer's Arena. I'd love to hear all of it. But yeah, it was fun getting to showcase another team like this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.